Hello, dear guests and organizers of EXPO. I would like to thank you on behalf of NETS for this great opportunity to present ourselves for the second time at this extraordinary event. I would also like to remind you, our online viewers, that there is a Q&A available in the chat section of this presentation. So we are a company that have over 30 years of experience in the field of process approach, consulting, and finding efficient solutions for our customers. In the past 20 years, we have also complemented our offer with compliance consulting and EFQM self-assessment. Through our existence, we have developed certain tools and applications to make our work much easier for us and also our clients. Our latest and greatest product is called d.o.o EQMS, that means Enterprise Quality Management System, an application that grew from a simple process and document managing system into a full-blown EQMS system. It doesn't matter in what industry you are working, you're obliged to comply with certain regulation, rules, and standards. So, through my work as a compliance consultant, I can see many different companies struggle with how to comply with different standards, from documentation, project management, human resource management, to risk management, and so on. All of them use some solutions which are mostly outdated, not covering the whole scope, or are so unfriendly that employees won't even be willing to use them. So we kept upgrading our document and process system into a whole scope application which not only complies with the demands of the standard, but also enables the user company to enter in the age of digitalization. At NETS, we believe in connecting all applications and systems together into unity, which will automatize the whole process, reduce the amount of needed work, and also reduce the chance of human error. Do you know that on average, an employee waits about 5.3 hours a week for working instructions, which means if we take this, if we take an average Slovenian company that has around 150 employees with a salary of around 3,000 euros per month, that means that company will be losing roughly around 220,000 euros per year. This data is drawn from the Panopta research, which includes around 1,500 employees from different American companies. So the d.o.o EQMS represents a code record of the whole company in the same way like DNA represents the code from ourselves, from our living organism. It can be used in any company, doesn't matter the size or the complexity, and it also enables work from remote location. It covers most important aspects of the company, like process management, where we can see processes defined by diagrams, all the instructions, executors, and all the records. Then we have documentation management. Here we have all documents that are equipped with metadata, informed list. Then we have versions, and last but not least, also comments. Well, risk management, that's also one of the scopes of the application. Here, all risks are well documented, assessed, and further on, d.o.o allows us to execute needed measures in order to prevent or reduce these risks. Then we have tasks in the actions that allow us to do simple to-do tasks, all the way to complex AD report, which is being used in instance in automobile industry. Meetings which can be convened and automatically marked in Outlook, Gmail, or Apple Calendar are also being pre-planned, and when completed, you can easily store the meeting minutes or just share them with other people, if you choose so, otherwise not. This model can also be used for audits, which we'll show further on in our presentation with our client SAPs. It also offers standard compliance and also helps us managing the organizational structure and company human resource. So the best things of this application, the advantages are that it works in all browsers that are available outside, that are currently available. It is multilingual, so you can use it in different languages. There you can have employees use it in Slovene, English, German, Croatian, Czech, and so on. Doesn't matter, like I mentioned before, doesn't matter the size of the company or complexity. Then it is constantly being updated, can be integrated with any system, because we believe that you should not throw the existing application that you have. You should just connect them all together and use what you have and just eliminate the double of the work. And also it offers a video conference meeting with its own service, which is designed by our partner company, and it will also be shown later on in the presentation. The security. At our company, we take security very seriously. Therefore, we are using top-of-the-top server hosting companies, which have multiple data center locations, so there is no worry that any data would be lost or destroyed. Besides physical security, there is also connection security that works on the same level as online banking, which will disable physical connection to the server in case it detects a slightest attempt of forced entry or hacking. The system also monitors and logs any view of any data, so there is no unauthorized access to data in the system. Like I mentioned before, it is interconnectable with any type of application or system. So we are also upgrading the mobile version of the DNA. So it will allow push-through notification on your mobile device and also be able to work with Windows and Apple Notification Center. And now I will pass my word on to our director, Uroš Gončar.
Jana, thank you very much. So now we are coming to self-assessment. The EXPO model is a globally recognized practical model for change in organizations and to perform better. Now we have changes, we have innovations, and we have transformations. So this is really broad sense, and with self-assessment, you can really assess yourself against 7 different criteria of the model. And what is the main part for me is management document. You have all approaches, all results which are important for the company. Then you have areas for improvements, and you assess yourself. Good ideas pop out. And now we are calling here our areas of improvement. What are good possibilities for the company? And then in the end, you have also scoring summary. Here it's a bit in this module. And now we can, so now it's EFQM. Now we have all 3 different parts: implementation, execution, and results. And for instance, in implementation, you have 2 criteria: purpose, vision, and strategy, and organizational culture and leadership. And also we support this is that you can document all of your approaches. Like this one, I will go in details. We have good guideline. Then you have good short explanation. What is the purpose, reason of this approach? How you implement this approach, and if it's deployment for all areas which is needed. Then the way you evaluate it and improve, and also what are evidences. Well, I didn't go in the right one. This one is the whole, because this is just part from real self-assessment, and this was, the ended product. And here you have also connections with other approaches and with other results. And now you have the whole picture of the company. You have like some kind of map of your company. And if I go back to PowerPoint, and also in the meantime, we would like to show you a short presentation of the company, and they will join this meeting in meantime. So this is a short presentation of our client, Saul's. It's one of the most important clients.
Salus Group, established in 1969, consists of pharmaceutical companies that together form a complete entity, offering commercial partnership, distribution, value-added services, retail, and healthcare services. Our strategy is to be a single point of contact for our partners, offering them all activities needed for products to enter on the market. We are one of the leading partners of global biopharma and medical device companies looking to enter or expand their presence in the Central and Eastern European region. Salus Group is actively present in 13 countries. The welfare of people is our supreme law. Salus Group.
Can you explain us a bit more about your, how you handle this compliance? Because in pharmaceutical industry, to be compliant with different standards is extremely important. Also, you have many inspections where they assess compliance in your company. And please let us know more about the system and your experiences with this application. Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Uroš. Thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you very much also for invitation. Very much appreciated. I will start my presentation where our short video ends and continue with some key elements of our quality system in connection with DNA EQMS. Salus Populi est suprema lex. The welfare of people is our supreme law. This slogan is our compass, which for more than 50 years shows us the direction for all our activities. Welfare means health. We are working in the pharmaceutical industry, which is highly regulated. The main reason is to ensure patient safety and product quality. Therefore, quality system of each stakeholder, from the manufacturer through wholesaler to the pharmacy, is very important. Quality is our commitment. Our quality system is effective and robust and ensures that all products maintain its quality and integrity and are available when our customers need them. Quality system is the framework of all our activities. We have an integrated quality management system that complies with applicable standards and regulations. The most important are pharmaceutical legislation, including GXP guidelines, medical devices and food supplements regulation, standard ISO 9001, business excellence, security and business continuity requirements, and last but not the least, business compliance requirements. In addition to our internal assessment, the effectiveness of our quality management system is frequently reviewed, certified, and audited by our partners and regulatory authorities. During the last 3 years, we've had around 80 assessments, and all were closed without critical findings. Auditors were impressed by our warehouse. We are very proud on our modern, highly automated, paperless warehouse. They were impressed by our quality management system in general and by our DNA system. I'm sure that all these assessments would be less effective without the use of DNA. We started implementing digital solutions years ago and chose the DNA EQMS for the field of quality management. We use DNA for the management of all key elements of our quality management system. It means we use it for documentation, processes, training, change control, deviations, CAPA, risk management, internal audits, and management of outsourced activities. Why do we use DNA? What are the benefits of it? DNA system is compliant with GXP guidelines and other regulations, especially Annex 11 to EU GMP and CFR Part 11. It is validated. Additionally, the system is compliant with good practices for data integrity and ALCOA principles. One example, with DNA, there is no possibility for data manipulation, for example, with date, time. The system has incorporated audit trails and they capture every event. The third benefit, consistency of data. Data are displayed consistently wherever they are accessed from. Change and version management are in place. Outdated versions are automatically archived. The fourth benefit, availability of data. DNA is centralized and reliable source of all business information, and quality system is unified. Documents are available for the right person at the right time. In current business environment where many teams are working remotely, I think it is really essential to manage quality anywhere at any time. The fifth benefit, efficiency. Paper-based quality management system requires more employees to manage all the documentation. For instance, tasks of printing documents, chasing document signature, copying them, stamping them, keeping evidence of all copies, making sure all document versions are available in specific binders, archiving them. With DNA, we can avoid all this, and the time saved then can be spent on more productive tasks. The last benefit, user friendliness. The user interface is intuitive and user-friendly. So these were the main reasons why we use DNA system. Here I have one example how documents can be managed. This is our recall process. All processes have a flow chart. Each process step has short description of the activity, who performs this activity, relevant records, and links to other documents. In our case, this is SOP for recall. Each document has its info window. Where can we find who can read this document, audit trail, index, versions, and training. For this document, self-training was defined, and here we can see who was trained and when. This document is an example of training with an efficiency test. In this case, we prepare the questionnaire within DNA, and this questionnaire should be then completed by relevant persons. In this way, we can prove that this training was effective. That's all from my side. Now I will give the floor to my colleague Vesna, who will present the compliance view on DNA system. Vesna, please.
Thank you, Helena. So business compliance and ethics we are having in companies in Salus Group. The Salus Group has zero tolerance for any incompliant or unethical behavior. And these principles are our commitment, which we stick to wherever we are present. We comply at least with all applicable local legislation. Then internal rules we have adopted for compliance and business ethics are an additional commitment of employees and contractors. We adhere to industry standards and codes like FPA standards. Then business practices give us additional guidance, such as paying fair market value for the service provider. And of course, last but not least, we have provisions related to compliance in contracts with our business partners. Given all of the above, we pay a lot of attention to the continuous education of employees as well as contractors, which begins immediately after joining the company from the Salus Group. We do due diligence like many other pharmaceutical companies do. And our principle is to do business with business partners who have the same high level of business ethics and compliance. And because of that, we carefully assess and evaluate each potential business partner before we start cooperating with it. We do this in a variety of ways that we have introduced in companies in Salus Group. Then transparent cooperation is one of the key aspects of business in the pharma industry, especially when it comes to cooperation with healthcare professionals and organizations, as well as with government officials. All such cooperations must reflect the highest standard of compliance, must not give any impression that corruption is possible, must be appropriate and impartial, and of course reflect the principles of fair market value in all local markets. So in order to simplify this part of the business and really shorten the relatively demanding internal process of approving cooperation with these stakeholders, we connected with our longtime business partner, this is company Nets, who prepared a solution and added additional module to our DNA EQMS system, which we simply call them compliance. So based on our requirements and needs, we have the compliance module determined and pre-configured templates and steps which are required to approve the most common collaborations we have with healthcare professionals and healthcare organizations. These are definitely donations and charitable contributions. Then consultancy engagements we have with physical persons, sponsorships, different kinds of sponsorships, organization of own events and advisory boards, and of course the money, the funds we are giving for education. I will now show you from the DNA how and show you in a concrete example how approval works in the DNA. Of course, for this purpose, we prepared an example. So this is the organization of one Salus own event, where a physical person, so one doctor, which it is in this case my colleague Helena Weinkel, who has just presented the first part of this presentation. She will have a lecture. So these cases, of course, are fictional because we should not show the concrete example and concrete data due to the confidentiality of the data. So when we open the DNA system and our module compliance, there are shown a screen with all this information. So for the compliance, just a second, I will maybe put that you will easier see. So this screenshot, can be also different, depends what you need, because here we have a lot of columns that can be either added or deleted. And immediately when you click on this, let's say event date, due date, at the end, the event, it is shown event, this column that you choose. Then in addition, you have to, because as I already said, here we have a lot of real data, not only the examples. You can also choose the filters here. And that's why for this presentation, we choose, of course, nets in order to that not other data will be shown. When somebody would like to add a new interaction, should select this button add. And here here are all the interaction types that are pre-populated and prefigures, like I said before. And if you open, let's say, one event, we have to save it. And then the one, so this template appears, and this template is done for us. So it depends on our needs and request. The initiator then starts filling in and adding documentation. So let's say who is the principals, when it is the event name, description, location, and so on and so on. And for this purpose, so for the own event, we were requested that those 4 documents need to be attached. So this is obligatory. That's why are marked here. So, and whenever any of these documents is chosen, I will go now back to list that I will show you one that it is already completed. So I completed it before. So when we add any document, we choose here the type of this document, and then this green arrow appears. So for this, each interaction are also include here in this small cross instructions. So if somebody, let's say this is the initiator or the approver, doesn't know what and how to need to fill this, he or she just click on this, and he will come to the instructions that are linked, not that are linked, but that describe what is the scope, purpose, and definition, and so for this concrete interaction. So we saw before that on this own event there will be also one additional HCP, healthcare professional, who will have the lecture. So, and the system, the DNA system, allow us that we can directly from this, when we are still this, that we can open the another template. So, and the procedure is then the same. To fill out it is the same, except that some other information is required here. But some of them are already automatically transferred from another interaction. And this is, let's say, event name, because we saw that on the event name we put the number and the EXPO, and here it is also rationale, and also the location information, event, and so on and so on. All other needs to be fulfilled. And a part of this required attachments, anyone who has the right to approve or to open these interactions can add any comment, and of course can add also other attachments, not only these which are named here. When this is completed, then the one who initiate this, here appears to approval, must click this button to approval, and then the approver, who must first approve this interaction, receive the notification by email that interaction is waiting in the DNA. There is added also a link to this interaction in the email, so that there is no need to go to the system and find the correct and the right interaction. So the approvers then reviews the content of the proposed interactions, and if agree with this, of course, approve it. However, each approver has also the possibility to send this interaction back to amend, so back to correct, or just reject it. And this process is then continues until all approvers have approved the interaction. And when the interaction is finally approved, so by the last approver, the initiator receives a confirmation by email, which means that the proposed cooperation is approved or were approved by all and can go into execution. For each, as already mentioned here by Helena, for each interaction, we also have this audit trail, which shows us chronologically from whom and when something was approved. And so if you can open this, my colleague approved this, yes, yes, yes. But here we have another where approval was no, because contract draft was deleted and the new contract was added, and so on until the last approver was approved this interaction. So all interactions, as I already before, can be very easily, with only one click, exported to Excel. So in here, we put in Excel, and Excel is here, and where of course they can be further where can be further processed. This is, of course, at least for compliance, one of the bigger advantages of the system. But in addition to all the advantages, that's what was explained by Uroš or by Helena, we saw in the compliance department also that centralization of documentation. So everything is in one place, which is very useful during audits, especially audits by companies, by our principals. Then it is efficiency. No need to call co-workers and ask them to approve the interaction. All approvers know at all times in what stage the proposed interaction is. And we have also the direct and fast access to data. Let's say if we would like to see the total amount of all donations we have given to particular organization, let's say in last 2 years, we can just either check directly here or export, download this to Excel. And maybe just for the end, really don't imagine that approximately 250 interactions that which we entered in the less than one year and a half could be conducted manually. But definitely would be much harder if we didn't have an electronic system. So we have shown you only a part of our work and procedures related to the quality standards and compliance of operations, which we perform in the companies in Salus Group. And I kindly invite you to contact us at these links, so telephone number, email, or the website, to find out more about us and Salus Group companies. So thank you very much. I wish you all a nice and successful day, and I pass my word back to Uroš. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this clear explanation. Of course, as you said, this is only one part of the system. Just imagine when you're living, you must be focused on what you're doing, not whether you will say something or will be anybody informed or not. When you set up for your company organization everything, then you have to do your work, and then I will take care to inform the others. For instance, I'm going now here. Look, it's my place in the name. When you go in the application, you get immediately all what you have to know. If there would be any blue quadrant, then, and number, I would know, okay, with number 2, there are 2 things I'm not informed yet. If there would be any orange, then, for instance, there is 1 thing I have to confirm or have to make comment, whatever. When she said before that something has to approve, then he has this orange quadrant and the number of things he has to improve. So there is no excuse in our company and with our clients because you know everything. You get all information online. And that's what we're doing. If you have good memory, then it's no excuse. You know everything. And now you have memory of all employees, but not only employees. For instance, the system, the processes, the border are not the border of organization, but it's the whole ecosystem. So you have also partners, you have suppliers, you have clients, they're doing in these processes. And when you have the whole map, then you are able to see bigger picture, what are other opportunities, and go on. So this is very important. When I go in the location and I'm back in 14 days, I just go in, I see immediately what was changed for me. If I had to answer something, whatever. For instance, here I have 75 comments which are in last 30 days. This is for our company in real. I have 173 documents I have to know, and so on. Here are all actions which are connected to me. Yellow means less than 5 days to a deadline. If there is green, okay, it's still time. I have all documents. Well, there too, I have to be checked that someone else has to do something, and when this will be ended, there will be no cars anymore. Here I have links to shortcuts to other system. Maybe we can translate in English. It will be easier for all. We will translate. So the flow of events. So there is, I'm really informed online with everything. And when you connect this application with other applications, then you have the whole picture online, whatever you want to know. And what is very important, because you must have rights. Then you can see a lot or not. It depends on what you have to know for your business. And everything you start to work. For instance, you have contracts, confident contract. It's very, you can in front to see who will be able to see this contract for everything. If you start with task, if you start with process, if you start with meeting, you are always in position to see who is right to see this thing. Normally, I know our important client, they have SAP. It's very well-known application. But nobody knows completely who can see something except administrators, so IT guys. But users were not aware who is able to see something. And many things should be covered, hidden. This was not the action. Normal people who were doing on outside in this with water and so on, they was able, or they have access to very important documents, but nobody knew. So, but here you are always in position to see everything, if you have rights, of course. And you start with new document, with new meeting, or whatever, you can see who will be able to see this. So in front, you can avoid a damage, which can be, this is for me really important part, especially now with this GDPR, you have many informations, especially personal informations. Well, if I'm looking myself, if I was normally run the same time 5 projects, for instance. I spend 2 hours per day to prepare myself for the project. Now I spend for this, let's say, 10 minutes. This is for me. We estimated in Impol, big company, and that was really conservative estimation. More than 5 or 6 the whole year people who would would work the whole year. Those 6 people now there's no need for. For instance, they have more than 500 products, and for each, automotive industry, you need to have at least 3 different documents: process, then a control plan, and also, if I may, analyze, so risk assessment. Now calculate 500 with 3, 1,500. And now you change something, and this change must be in all those documents. Sometimes it spent more than 3 months, one person, to arrange everything. Now this can be done in 5 minutes, maybe 12, maybe half an hour. There is no need. For instance, I have one filter in my mind. I put this in the application, and normally I get in 1 second what I'm looking for. For instance, you have 5, 6 hints, and now you are very fast to find the right one. Really, this is, and another thing, companies normally, they have to be informed if something will go over deadline and so on. Here you can set by yourself. There is no need for IT guy. You can do a normal user if he has rights or she has rights. She can prepare for herself or himself, and then he was warned automatically. For instance, each month I get everything what will be our deadline in 14 days. So there is no need to be thinking, what I forget something? No, you are informed automatically. But this is only one part of. Thank you for the question. Yes? Well, depends on the size of the company. But let's say company can have 100 employees. BS Operations, we all know this organization. They are doing filters to, but now in pandemia, they grow more than 100% per year, each year. And they use this and to implement, to define all processes, and they start to use it. They start to use it in 1 month, but defined all processes in 4 months. But they were eager to use it. If you don't have such situation that you have to push, then can be from 3 to 6 months. But in some companies, they are now 180 employees already. You can start in one month or in, yeah, Janis, maybe you can. Okay. Maybe our partner, Frank, are you online? Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the security, because now we integrated this video conference. We are much more secure as we would use Microsoft Teams, because this is everything in the same place, and I have no need to prepare myself because I have here my system. I have the whole system, everything at my hands. If we have a meeting, I can show immediately what someone is asking, and we have to check whatever. Frank, are you on the line? No. Because this is everything Slovenian knowledge. We are proud of. This application is our knowledge. It comes out of more than 30 years of experiences all over the world. I finished more than 200 projects. I was the project leader.
Uroš, do you want me to start?
Okay, please tell us a bit more about. Yeah. Please.
Well, dear colleagues, Uroš, thank you very much for your introduction. A few words about the integration of DNA platform and collaboration platform MeTeam, or MyTeam in English. MyTeam has been created a couple of years ago to fulfill the role of the secure, digital, and open collaboration and learning hub It is a boutique product. It's not a global product yet. It is focused on integration of a big part of collaboration functionality with systems like d.o.o into unique collaboration and management solution. We know what kind of explosion is happening in front of our eyes in the last couple of years, when thousands and different collaboration tools and many millions of customers are trying to thrive in the pressure to push up the digital transformation, speeded up by COVID age. And in this period of time, my team has been created to be a specialist solution in this complex world. We are constantly tracking enormous speed of change coming from different platforms. And within these platforms, we are trying to figure out what are the most important components for the companies which would like to have something specialized for them, highly secure, customized, and fully integrated with their workflows. That's the reason why integration with d.o.o has taken place. So the key capabilities of my team, which are used within this integration, are it's an integrated solution where you can integrate a highly secure video communication, like what we are doing today, messaging, chat, document share, file sharing, learning management, event management with a customized branding. Of course, in most corporations and associations, people will be using all these features together with some other global solutions like Microsoft Teams, like Zoom, like Slack, like Dropbox, but those pieces which you would like to keep as secure as possible, as customized as possible, can be very nicely done within my team environment. So it's important to work with global tools and platforms. On the other side, one important advantage is in this world of clouds. We know that cloud, of course, is a very great solution, but some companies, and especially maybe banks and public institutions and those working in pharmaceutical world, they would still like to keep some of their data and content within their secure networks. And my team offers a great installation within a private cloud solution. It means on the servers, which are controlled by the customer using customer controlled security mechanisms. In the same way, like d.o.o, we want to say that your data is not protected by 20 or 50 pages of small print controlled by the lawyers. It is protected by your engineers and your security officers, and still works perfectly with other cloud installations. It's important that customization, like it is now being done within d.o.o, offers a fully integrated solution, and by that, of course, offers much greater user experience. And the solutions like d.o.o as quality assurance management, like HRM and CRM, are those where my team as an open platform would strive. So we can have such a symbolic view of my team as a set of well-integrated tools, including the external platforms like d.o.o, and those tools can be fully integrated, have its own user experience, its own security, but only those tools would be used which are needed in particular workflow defined by the customer expectation. We are very happy to be part of this great adventure, which is started with d.o.o, showing to the companies that they can take care about their quality and their business excellence. And we are really looking forward to go together to this exploding collaboration market as a really focused boutique product which covers your collaboration needs in a highly secure and optimized way. Thank you for this opportunity. Good luck.
To add something, it doesn't matter what kind of organization you are. Our clients are industrial company. Then, for instance, we have SaaS like service. Then we have automotive association in Slovenia. Then we have public inspection company, which help to inspect all public aviations companies in Slovenia, and they're doing the inspections all through the d.o.o. Before each their observation, they put by post and they need at least 1 day to send message. Now they change messages 5 even more times in the same day. Just imagine how much time they can save or spare. Well, if there is no question anymore, I would thank to all of you and people who are present here. You got also these rings. Please try to put them on your finger. If the ring is too big, we can change it, or if it's too small, we can change it. So thank you very much to be here, and well, we are now in EXPO, and start to discuss. Thank you very much also, Helena and Vesna, for your explanations, and also Frank to be present, and all from the other parts who you followed this presentation. Thank you very much.